All right, so I just spent like over 20 minutes talking about this card and my mic wasn't working well. So I had to redo it. So that's why I'm here right now. So forgive me if I'm not talking too much about some of them because I already talked about them a bunch. So yeah, we'll just kind of go through like a quick run through for the fights I don't really want to talk too much about. And yeah. All right, first things first, let's talk about Adam versus Ty Miller. I thought this was a great performance. It was honestly like crazy how it happened like so late, like in the first round, like just right at the last part of the round, he ends up KOing him. It was a great performance by Ty. Same happened to Hokit and Freeman. I thought this fight was kind of ugly, I should say. How Freeman just basically kind of like took a knee, I should say, or just kind of fell down at the end of the last round, or the first round, and then Hokit was just kind of flipping him off. I thought it was kind of stupid. That's kind of my session of those two. Perez versus Johnson. I thought Perez looked great. Was landing big shots. Charles Johnson didn't look the best in my opinion. He also kind of distracted me with his dumbass hair, I should say. His hair was like atrocious to look at in the octagon. I don't know what it is or what he did. It just looked kind of weird to me, so I didn't like looking at it in the fight. I'll be honest. Krylov versus Bukanovs. I thought Krylov did amazing. A lot of KOs in these earlier fights as well. Krylov was like landing some very big shots. Thought his use of the jab was really nice. Obviously the body kicks. And yeah, he just kind of like overwhelmed him, and then Bukanovs just kind of like he didn't know how to stand his ground and like trade with him. So yeah, it was just a definition of overwhelming his opponent. So yeah, that's basically what happened. Then we have Gaethje versus Polyev. This was to me kind of like a David and Goliath kind of thing. In the sense of like Gaethje just looked like an unmovable object, and then Polyev just looked like he couldn't stand his ground against him. Like Polyev was landing better strikes, more consistent striking, and more versatile striking. But then Gaethje's power and the amount of power he has when he throws was just completely overwhelming Polyev in that sense, and he wasn't able to, yeah, able to even stun him. Every shot that Polyev threw at him looked like it didn't affect him at all, and then that's the opposite for Gaethje. Every shot he landed looked like it generally hurt Polyev. That's my assessment of that one. Umar versus Figueiredo. I thought it was a pretty clear win for Umar. Um, it was boring though, very boring fight. I thought Umar would be more like aggressive with the striking and more aggressive with the grappling and wrestling. Uh, I thought he would at least try to like get a submission or knock him out, but it was very clear that he was just going for points. And as for Figueiredo, he just didn't look that great in this fight. He had some big moments in the last round, but overall, it was mostly just Umar controlling. So that's basically what happened in that fight. And Umar probably should get a title shot, even though I don't think he's the most entertaining. That's my take. This was probably my fight of the night personally. I thought this was my favorite thing to watch. I should say, Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva, amazing fight. Both guys were doing a lot of back and forth. I had it 1-1 going into the third round, and then Gene Silva took that third round, I think. And yeah, Gene Silva ended up winning by decision, Cam's decision, and it was a great fight to watch. A lot of good striking, a lot of versatile striking as well. A lot of cool shots, like, and that means that Arnold Allen's only lost like 3 times in UFC now against all high level guys: Evolov, Holloway, and now Silva. That's a good record. And then Gene Silva's only lost to Diego Lopez now. So pretty cool, right? Um, this fight I kind of fell asleep for. Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. I don't know. I kind of get bored watching Namajunas because it seems like she has this kind of consistent thing where she's like really close or like really she's too far in the void, I should say, or too far in the range to even land strikes, and she kind of stays there. So it's a lot of like feinting and not landing anything from both these women, and it makes me kind of mad watching it. So I thought Rose Nunez did enough to win. Thought she had the better strikes, but I have to watch it back. I don't know. But yeah. So I don't really care, to be honest. Though it was kind of like just a snooze fest to me. So it is what it is. We have Wallace Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. Good fight. I thought Derek Lewis looked kind of shit. It's kind of like one of those things with Derek Lewis, though, is that he either looks really good or really bad. There's no really in between. And tonight he just didn't look that good. And Waldo Cortez or Costa just kind of capitalized on it. I thought it was kind of interesting how Derek Lewis like fell basically from like I think it was like a left hand, but it barely touched him or something, and then he just kind of like tripped on it. Yeah. Anyway, it was interesting, but yeah, I'd like to see Waldo Cortez fight for the heavyweight belt now too. That'd be cool. I think he deserves it after this fight. Plus, we don't have a lot of people in line for the belt right now. It feels like so. I'd like to see it. Now we have Sean O'Malley versus Song Yudong. I was pretty excited for this. I thought it would be a very calculated fight, which it kind of was. A lot of hesitant shots from O'Malley in this fight, so it kind of was weird to see. He didn't really start getting like into this flow until the last round, I think. And then Song Yudong looked good the whole fight, I think, in my opinion. Especially with the grappling, he was able to get Sean down for a few rounds, for like a minute or two towards the ends, maybe. And it was pretty good to see. I think Sean O'Malley had a really dominant third round, which is kind of why I thought he got the win, which he ended up getting the win. I had it 2-1 again for Sean O'Malley. I think the first round was a clear song round. I think the second round was Sean, and then third round was Sean. I could be wrong though, but that's how I scored it. And yeah, it was a good performance from Sean. I think one or two more fights against top contenders without a title shot should be the way to go. I'd like to see Sean O'Malley fight Corey Sandhagen, and then if he wins that, he should get a title shot again against Iran or Marab, depending on how that rematch goes. If they do a rematch, I think they will. They'll definitely do a rematch though. I don't think it'll be like with Aljamain Sterling. I think they'll give Marab the rematch. All right, so now for the main event, the fight of the night: Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett. I was very, I honestly, I've said this before in my other videos. I think this was the stupidest interim like title fight we've ever seen. Just because Ilya Topuria is out for a bit doesn't mean we need to have an interim title fight. Doesn't make sense. I find it stupid, especially choosing Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett for this. Like, I don't know. It is what it is, though. Armin should have got the interim title shot against I want to say Justin Gaethje, or it could have been Armin versus Paddy for the interim title too. But anyway, that's the whole another thing. Let's just talk about how this fight went. Um, I had Justin Gaethje winning by late KO in this fight. It turned out to be almost a lot sooner than that. With two knockdowns by Justin Gaethje early. Uh, Honestly, I think it was three, but they only counted two of them, which is weird to me. But I don't know. It is what it is. But Justin Gaethje just looked very like heavy-handed. He always looks heavy-handed, but actually heavy-handed in this fight. He was landing some pretty big bombs on Paddy. Paddy proved that he has quite a chin for this kind of stuff as well, though, because a lot of those shots have slept people that he got hit with. Um, that being said, I thought Paddy looked like a better striker in this fight, though. Like the amount of like versatile on like shots I saw Paddy land this fight. Like he was landing uppercuts, he was landing front kicks, he was landing knees. Like he was doing a lot of stuff, like good leg kicks too. His leg kicks looked really good in this fight as well. So I thought Paddy Pimblett looked like he belonged. But I think it just came down to the overwhelming power of Justin Gaethje. Like he hit so hard compared to anyone that Paddy's fought, even Michael Chandler. So like he wasn't used to going up against someone like that and taking those shots. So I think that's what it really came down to, his experience. I think Paddy Pimblett, he's just not experienced enough to win a title fight like this against someone like Justin Gaethje. I think Justin Gaethje is probably going to fight Ilya Topuria. I think he'll get slept in the first round by Ilya Topuria, so it won't be much of a fight. But I think Paddy Pimblett will end up fighting someone else in the lightweight division, probably like Armin uh, or something. We'll see. And then hopefully he'll get another title shot in the future. Paddy will. I still want to see Ilya Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett one day. Even though I think Paddy Pimblett loses that fight, it would be a good fight to watch and see. Yeah, that's my assessment of the card. I thought the Paramount deal was really nice. I really enjoyed the streaming service for this time. I thought the commercials are a bit repetitive. Same with a lot of like the screenings they did, where like it just Paramount with like the graphics and stuff, and it's kind of annoying to watch. I thought the multiple cams for like the fight was kind of cool. I thought a lot of things were cool. It was HD the whole time too. Like this is the first time I've watched a UFC event where like it hasn't been blurry at parts or just randomly lost quality. So I thought that was cool, especially with good internet. Because even with good internet, it seemed like it did it, and I'm like, okay, ESPN just doesn't know how to do their streaming. But it was good. I'm excited for Diego Lopez versus Volkanovski too. Now, that's the next card. I'll be making a video on that as well. And yeah, good card, good card.